As I was going through Unit 3, I learned how you can use Google to help my future classroom run more efficiently. As a prospective educator with students of various backgrounds, Google can help me reach them wherever they are on the learning continuum. In the first part of Unit 3, move your files into Drive, I learned how to use cloud storage. I was not aware about how much time I could save by placing a variety of items, including images and work documents, into this particular location. I can also create and share folders with my future students on various topics. Additionally, assigning different colors to these folders can give me the freedom to designate which students have access to each one. Then in the second part of Unit 3, making fewer class copies, I learned how to use Google in various ways for my future classroom. One of these is Google Classroom, where I can design assignments to give students and guide them in any level from advanced to the challenge. It also allows me to establish schoolwork and homework assignments as well as related documents, which can be web pages with due dates so there's no future misunderstandings. Second, there are Google Sites where I can place web links and classroom sources into a collection that can be modified as needed. Finally, in the last segment of Unit 3, bring your quizzes through Google Forms. I discovered how to create quizzes and inquiries using Google Forms. Quizzes can be used to evaluate student comprehensions via multiple choice, paragraph, short answer, and checkbox styles. On the other hand, inquiries can range from class trip permissions forms to collecting family information. People may also be able to use these forms for assessments and collating information for a group assignment. In Unit 4, Save Time in Communicating, I learned how I can use Gmail, Hangouts, and Sites to better connect with my future students, their families, and fellow educators and or administration officials. As a future instructor, it's essential that I become proficient in communicating in a timely and efficient manner. Receiving feedback from parents, students, and cohorts will make me more effective in my job. I learned the essentials of how to systemize and examine messages in Gmail. This involves priority designations under the Settings Inbox tab. After that, I can create a filter for location, sender, recipient, text on the subject line, date, and whether or not there's an attachment. And I can also check by picture or event date. Then if the message is an urgent one, I can click on the empty star next to the message. Also, there is the option to create additional markers for the emails in the inbox. Finally, I can now be able to retrieve messages searching by author, subject, time, and supplement. I discovered Hangouts as a new way to reach my future students. My future students and I will be able to communicate with other classrooms around the world. By using Hangouts, I can deliver real-time responses to the students, as well as to allow students to work with each other outside our classroom. Also important, Hangouts allows me to monitor and block inappropriate users. I unearthed the ways to use Google Groups to build better classroom communication. One of these is creating a Google group. Google Groups will help me to impart thoughts, records, and experiences with the students and their families. Additionally, I can use Google Groups, records and experiences with the students and their families. And it will also let me give me a chance to explain upcoming coursework and events with the students' families. Google Groups will also enable me to involve my future students in personal guided and interactive experiences with each other. By creating boundaries for the Google group offers the teacher some control over who and which students may have access to the assignments, and these groups can also allow communication of ideas to go forward. This includes choosing a group title, email address, acceptable themes, what material can be displayed. I will need to establish who will have access to the Google group. These can range from public to private. It will indeed be necessary for me to choose a group type. These include email list or web form, which can allow me to decide how my students will participate. The question and answering allows me to pose and answer inquiries and use the collaborative inbox where specific topics can be chosen. I will also have the freedom to choose who can become members of the group. Since I had assigned a group name, all I would need to do is to send out a single email to the group. Lastly, I have now learned to share my students' work with the greater school community. This will now allow me to showcase my students' work with parents and the local public. By creating a Google site, I can customize what is displayed within it. Additionally, there's the option to name the site by naming the document and giving it a name and creating a page title. Then I will be able to modify its appearance by creating a backdrop image, header type, and a subject. Then it is also a way to create pages within a site. By doing this, my future students and I can make individual pages based on subject matter. We could have sub-pages where individual students can place their work. As a future educator, I will have the ability to add representation, script, and embedded sources to enhance my classroom site. I can also add manuscript sheets and slides to further improve the student page or pages. Lastly, is essentially I proofread, then post the finished project to share on Google Docs where it will reach the intended audience. I would seriously think I would consider becoming a Google educator by completing the certification in the near future. The end of unit quizzes help reinforce what I had just learned. For each unit instructions, they proceeded in a logical order so I could understand what I was doing. Overall, I had a great experience once I understood how to create Google Slides. My Google Slides link is accessible to all at http://presentation.d/L-M-Q-P-T-Q-F-W-U, etc. Thank you. How'd that sound?
Much better.